Hi, this is Dr. Micol Neely, and thanks for listening to our show. We are here to talk a little bit about mindset, movement, and muscle, and maybe a few other little fun things along the way. Well, thanks for joining me today, Steve. I am so excited to hear your story. I want you to start out first and tell me a little bit about what you're doing. I've been on your showroom. If you see some of our posts, I've kind of toured and tried it all out. It's the pictures, the cameraman. But tell me a little bit about Thriver.
So Thriver Wellness Supply is the very first experiential luxury showroom in North America, so being the U.S. and Canada. So we are a resource for the best of the best wellness equipment, both prefabricated and custom, everything from saunas, infrared and traditional, cold plunge, red light therapy, hyperbaric, PMF, vibration plates, Lemmy massage tables, like the Ferrari of massage tables, as well as the best of the best supplements and hair follicle analysis.
Cool. And your story is really, really interesting. What got you into the space of wellness?
So I've been in wellness going way back to decades. So I was a competitive martial artist, everything from Shotokan karate to boxing, kickboxing, and eventually amateur cage fighting.
Wow.
So I was always the go-to wellness guy, always in shape, always took care of myself, the last guy you expected to. Yeah, well, I trained all that, but through outside of the martial arts and everything else. Yeah, I just learned. I just was people who were experts in their field or knowledgeable like you were just like a magnet for me because, I wanted to learn and just absorb and be a wealth of useful and useless information. So I sold my last business in 2020, was acquired by Lifetime Athletic Fitness Club, and moved back to Arizona. Want to take a couple of years from New York, from Long Island. Wanted to take a couple of years to kind of reset. It was the first time I hadn't worked 6 or 7 days a week for decades. 35 years I've been starting and building businesses. So taking some time, figured I had one last really good run to build and scale something, and I'll only do something I love.
Yeah.
So I just kind of figured I'd get a feel and see what it was. And 2023 went to get my labs done. And doctors said, well, your lymphocytes are slightly elevated, your white blood cell count is slightly elevated, your platelet count is pretty low, probably just have a virus. Let's run some tests.
Okay.
So ran some tests, turned out to be a little more than a virus, turned out to be stage 4 mantle cell lymphoma, which you likely know. Most people have never heard of it.
Which is crazy because usually that's one rare and then a lot older males.
Older white men.
Yeah.
Very rare, only about 2,000 cases a year. It is getting a little more prevalent, but very rare. Really only doctors have heard of it.
Yeah.
So, surprise, as you can imagine, not a single symptom.
What was your first thought when they told you that?
I'm going to do everything I can, not only to fight. It was another fight. I'm a fighter, so this is my biggest fight yet. But at the same time, I'm very organized.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to just put everything together because if it's going to kill me, then I want, my wife and my kids to be situated and prepared and whatever else. So, I knew I had a fight ahead of me. So, but, I'm not a quitter. There was never a thought where, maybe I'll just let it. My first thought was, let me learn everything I could possibly do to beat this.
Yeah.
I mean, above and beyond the chemo and everything else I went through. So I started chemo in August of 2023. Really, like 11, 12 hours at a time, like death for 4 or 5 days afterwards, literally like dying. That bed, couldn't move, dry heaving, no energy. By the 5th, 6th day, walking the dog, 7th day, back in the gym. 2 weeks later, same process. And did that, a few times. October, Halloween 2023, they were did a CAT scan to check my progress. Just want to see because lymphoma, check my lymph nodes. And I got a call from one of my oncologists at Mayo Clinic 2 hours after the CAT scan, said, results look great, but you've got a bigger problem. I said, bigger? What's bigger than stage 4 cancer? They said, you have a ruptured appendix.
Oh my
So I said,
goodness.
well, that would explain, the agony I've been in for 6 weeks and lost 18 pounds. I mean, they thought it was the chemo. They thought an old ulcer had opened up. So long story short, check in the hospital, 3 doctors treating me there said, we have no idea how you're still alive. Turned out I've been walking around with it for 6 weeks.
Wow.
They said, we've never seen anything like this. They said, you're
medically,
literally.
I want to be like, that doesn't happen.
Yes. They literally said I was a medical miracle, which I've heard before in other situations, good or bad, and didn't even take it out. They said, we can't operate. It's completely encapsulated. Can't get a clear picture of it. There's no abscess. We can't operate on affected tissue because there's no way to suture it. You're obviously past the danger zone. So we're just going to monitor you for a couple of days, put me on really crazy antibiotics through my chemo port 4 times a day. And first round of antibiotics they gave me, my pain went away. Felt great. 2.5 days later, I said, if you don't take it out, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm not staying in the hospital. My wife was in Europe visiting my daughter who was studying abroad. My son came home from LA to watch my big dog. So next day they said, okay, we're gonna send you home. We're gonna have someone come to your house and we're gonna leave your port access. We're gonna teach you how to do your own IV antibiotics. Did 32 IV antibiotics in 8 days to myself. Waited 5 weeks to resume chemo. All the drugs had to be, antibiotics had to be out of my system, and resume my second round of much more intense chemo.
Yeah.
And 2 years this month, I am in complete remission.
Congratulations.
I have my last maintenance infusion, not really chemo, just like every 8 weeks. My last one next week. Feel better than I probably have in 25 or 30 years post-cancer. And I attribute that to the few changes I made and mostly the equipment that I now utilize on a daily basis.
Tell me about those changes, because obviously you need and are thankful for modern medicine, the chemotherapy, oncologists, and I believe in medicine. But there's also a lot of the non-traditional holistic that you've really taken to heart and done well with. Can you explain some of that and how you've combined the 2 therapies?
Yeah, so a lot of it, I mean, I modified. So everything became primarily above and beyond wellness was cancer, fighting cancer, preventing cancer, recovering from cancer.
Yeah.
So everything from my diet was already very, very high level. My supplementation was always high level. So it's just modifying. But I truly believe that because that was just tweaking and just going, from a higher level to an even higher level, but the equipment. So the sauna, the cold plunge, the red light, the hyperbaric, the PEMF, I believe, because a lot of those now have been established to actually kill cancer cells, boosting healthy cell health, killing cancer cells, boosting, everything.
Yeah.
So using those regularly is really where I attribute it to, this
So you
feeling.
already had supplements that you did, you were hormones balanced, and you stayed with that through your treatments.
Yes. Well, of course, my doctors at Mayo Clinic said I'm on very low level TRT, testosterone, for probably about 11, 12 years at that point. I didn't want to stop it, but of course my doctor said, you can't do it. It could promote tumor growth and blah, blah, blah. A very good friend who's a very, very brilliant doctor in New York or New Jersey said the same thing. Another doctor I knew told me the same thing. And I said, you're all wrong. You're quoting old research. It's not correct. Testosterone is actually beneficial through treatment. My oncologist at Mayo Clinic, brilliant guy, Dr. Javier Munoz, head of lymphoma at Mayo, he's a researcher. He said everything I told him, because I was always telling him something every 3 weeks when I saw him. And he said, I'm going to look into it, as he did everything. And he came back and he said, you are right. And our friend in New York looked into it and he said, you are right. So I get a lot of that, not just with my cancer, but with doctors overall, because very few go to the levels that you've gone through to educate yourself and train on peptides and hormone replacement.
And it's not a one size fits all. Like
absolutely,
each situation is different, and sometimes we do find. So you did really well staying on that with the collaboration with your doctors.
Yes.
Tell me about the peptides you use through your treatment.
So I started peptides after treatment. I started peptides earlier last year. So I have to be careful because anything which is growth hormone stimulating, it specifically interferes with a medication I take now, that I take a pill every day that blocks a specific enzyme that feeds cancer cells. So those specifically contradict that. So I can't do them yet. But so BPC is safe for me. I recently started MOTS-C,
Okay.
Not really getting the effects yet because it's relatively new. And I'm about to start microdosing with retatrutide.
Okay.
For inflammation, just clarity, just the overall benefits. I'm not so much in weight loss, that's not my concern, but all the other benefits.
Those are three of my favorite. I love BPC long-term for bringing down inflammation, helps aches, pains, good gut health. MOTS-C is repairing mitochondria. So your cells are healthier and putting out more energy, which, as you mentioned, all about keeping those cells healthy to destroy the cancer cells and promote healthy cells. And then I do think there's a lot with retatrutide right now. I know it's newer and not officially on the market from pharmacology standpoint, but compound pharmacies were getting it. And I'm seeing some incredible results with maintaining muscle, but keeping it healthy fat, balance, and bringing down inflammation. I think the studies are really showing it's preventing heart disease, early dementia. So I think the anti-inflammatory effect is really, really neat to see with the retatrutide. It's going to be a game changer.
Absolutely. Well, it's just like statins. They say statins really the biggest benefit people achieve, at least from what I know, is it reduces inflammation. That's where people are getting even bigger benefits than the intended benefit.
Yeah.
And I know with the GLPs, it's the same thing. Another one I should mention, which you'll laugh, I just tried, first time, is PT-141.
Oh, good.
That is good stuff.
How'd you like it?
I like it a lot.
Definitely one of my favorites.
I did the inhaler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried it with oxytocin?
I have not.
So PT-141's a great one for sexual enhancement, improving libido. Can give you a little flush. Did you get that flush with it?
I did not get flush.
It just worked.
It worked.
The neat thing is male and female can use it, which is really nice. And I
won't get into that because my wife will kill me, but it's very good for everyone.
I love combining it with oxytocin.
I gotta try
it just combines this bonding experience too. So I'm glad you've had a great experience with your peptides.
This is why I love speaking to you. Whenever we have a conversation, you're one of the few people whose word I trust and whose knowledge I trust, that you speak from experience and you teach me. You're one of the few people, and I learn, and every day I'm just learning, good and bad, what to do, what not to do. But every time we speak, I learn something and I take away from it. It's fantastic.
That's what we're supposed to do.
That's it.
Tell me about your red light therapy, because that's one of those that I'd love to bring on. How often are you doing it, and what benefits are you seeing with it?
I do red light at least typically 6 days a week, 10 minutes aside, 10 minutes front, 10 minutes back. So red light therapy is at the very top of my list. It's like 2 or 3 modalities, which are a must have, and I sell everybody on it because people come in for saunas and cold plunge and other things, and everybody where possible leaves with red light in addition to, and they all come back and they love it. So red light, most people not knowledgeable about it think it's just for, skin health, anti-aging, tremendous benefits there.
Which you can.
But first you feel it quickly. I mean, you feel it after a session or two in terms of mobility, inflammation, recovery, circulation. If you have any injuries, it's tremendous. So you feel it pretty much immediately, and then you start to see it. So in terms of your skin health, skin spots, irritation, your eyes are mostly collagen. So keeping the eyes closed, I get asked this question all the time, keep your eyes closed. The eyes are so thin that they filter the light, gets through, stimulates collagen in the eyes. My eyes have actually improved in the last 2 years.
By doing the red light.
By doing red light. And I haven't seen an adverse reaction to it yet. I know there are people who somewhere, somehow have some reaction, very safe, but just easy and so effective.
Yeah. And I think it gets down to that cellular health again, too. It's really promoting, again, those mitochondria, which, by the way, you get all from your mother.
There you go.
Thank your mom.
Another thing I learned from you. Yeah, you know what? The lower wavelengths are shorter. They're more skin, topical, very shallow penetration. And then the higher wavelengths, some of them penetrate all the way to a cellular level. So it's boosting ATP, or energy production, cellular health, everything. Yeah. Inside and out.
What other modalities? Tell us a little bit about the PMF.
Okay.
That was one of my favorites when I was at your showroom.
Yes, and you went pretty high level on it. So PMF is I mean, the way I always explain to people, like they talk about grounding, when you lay on the grass, you get the magnetic energy from the earth.
Yeah.
Talking about many, many thousands of times that efficacy in terms of the power you're getting from these. So, that's like recharging again, mitochondrial, ATP, healing, activates your parasympathetic nervous system, recovery, mental, physical. You're just stimulating your entire body, but it's very, very, very restorative.
Yeah.
So I love it. I was getting a bit of tendonitis in my elbow. I'm very active. I had some tendonitis in my elbow last couple of weeks. Started using the PEMF on it. It's gone.
Wow.
So, between that and now I could compound that with BPC and whatever else. And it's like a miracle. It really is. My ability at my age to recover this quickly. I've had so many injuries over the years, but it's almost, that's why they call the blend, not what we're talking about, but the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because you're just regenerating at an
Which
amazing
is BPC
rate.
with TB500. And your
GHKCU.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll add in KPV for the CLO. Yeah.
So I can't use those yet because of the growth hormone issues. But even with the BPC and the PEMF and then cold plunge is another of my absolute favorites. But the PEMF in different modalities, the most common is the PEMF mats. I always tell people, because some people buy the mats, you go on Amazon and go on online and buy these mats for $800, $1,200, $1,500. I haven't seen one yet, the truly effective mats that work. And I know that they work. They can start at like $6,000 or $8,000, so they're not cheap, but you're getting what you're paying for. Anything below that, I mean, everything I've seen, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but everything I've seen is just a waste of money below that.
Yeah. What I found with using a session for the PMF you have is it was very restorative and quickly. And then my favorite is that Vimy bed. Oh. So I ran that 100-mile race.
Yeah. You were pretty banged up.
I saw you the day after, like limping in, and you're like, "Who is this girl?"
That was the first time we met, and I said, she's a vitality doctor. She can barely move.
My legs were swollen.
Then you told me what you did.
I had to explain. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just ran yesterday.
So Vimy stands for vibroacoustic electromagnetic infrared. So you're getting vibroacoustic, which is sound waves and vibration, excellent for inflammation, lymphatic drainage, tremendous. You have the PEMF, which we just discussed, and then infrared. So mild heat, wavelengths. So those wavelengths very deeply penetrating. And I just learned, I didn't even realize, it's hitting over 4 billion cells per minute. So,
and then we had the acoustic. So
correct. So that's
mentally, it was very relaxing and healing. But when you put that together after a session, I literally immediately had less pain in my legs and hips. And I felt like I was standing up straighter, like just one session.
Yeah. Everybody wants, today's day and age, instant gratification. It's like, we're scrolling. Everything's had to be instant gratification. And what's so great about many of our modalities, especially the Vimy table, in a 30-minute or 60-minute session, a 30-minute session, it's the equivalent of 3 hours of the highest quality sleep.
Yeah.
So you get off that table, and it's funny. Other people have utilized it. We always ask people, hey, you want to do a testimonial, talk about it? And everybody says the same thing. They say, I can't even explain what I'm feeling right now because it's so different than everything you've ever felt. Mentally, physical, mental restoration, physical restoration, again, activating your parasympathetic nervous system, just healing, getting everything, your frequencies in alignment. I mean, all your cells, literally all of our trillions of cells have to be in alignment frequency-wise. It just has so many benefits, and it's really inexplainable. That's the only way to explain it.
Yeah.
The benefit.
Yeah. So if you were telling someone who's just been diagnosed with cancer or going through it, what would be the biggest thing you would tell them to start doing, taking care of themselves? In addition to seeing their doctors, the chemo, what would make the biggest impact getting them through their treatments?
I'm going to stick above and beyond diet supplementation because that's a given, and we know that. Everybody should know that. But so PEMF has been now established to effectively kill cancer cells, which is tremendous. So the NIH, National Institute of Health, everybody trusts government organization, but they did a study. They released a study specifically on breast cancer and PEMF. They chose breast cancer because it's more and more common. A lot of people suffering from it or have gone through it, and they found that PEMF effectively killed breast cancer cells while boosting healthy cell health, which is chemotherapy, as destroys a lot of good things as well as your cancer cells. So the PEMF was effective at not only killing cancer cells, boosting healthy cell health. Sauna, very effective. We've had this discussion before because you release heat shock proteins. Heat shock proteins basically kill, boost our immune system, fight virus, bacteria, sickness, but heat shock proteins also have been established to kill cancer cells. Wow. I was just reading something recently. So, I mean, at a very high level, definitely that PMF, the VEMI table, more than anything, because it incorporates a number of those things. Sauna usage, red light therapy, boosting mitochondria. We need to make our body the least conducive environment for cancer cells to thrive in, and the most conducive for our body to be able to fight this battle that it's going to fight. So, those are red light, sauna, PEMF, even cold plunge really boosts immunity, stimulates our vagus nerve, which I read extensively about yesterday. Absolutely off the chart. But so anything we can do to enhance our bodies, using these certain modalities, which are actually killing the cancer cells.
I think it's pretty amazing, the tools we have now. Mm-hmm. So we've got modern medicine, but combine that with, yes, you've got to have your core. And I preach this over and over. Mm-hmm. Get your nutrition right, get proper sleep, get movement, work on your mindset. Mm-hmm. But then on top of that, we've got these amazing tools, bringing in peptides, bringing in red light therapy, PMF, VEMI, sauna, cold plunge. I think it's a little different for every person. And that's why I do recommend doing that in conjunction with someone who knows these modalities, because we want the right thing for each person. But I love these modalities. I want to bring even more in for my patients. And
well, I tell anyone listening or anyone who will hear this podcast at any point in the future, between what you're doing, your medical background and your extensive knowledge of all these other things, and what we're doing, you could live. I mean, our slogan is life optimized. So, I mean, you want to truly live life optimized. You want to age well. You want to feel well. There's no reason, again, conversation we've had about decreasing our metabolic age or cellular age. What we're both doing lends right into it, and it's established to work. This is not, hocus pocus. This is not something that someone says, well, try it. These are things you feel, you see, and you notice very quickly.
It's not about living forever, but it's a living with energy, or we say it's
quality,
live with power.
But if you can live longer and live a great life,
why
not?
On you. Yeah, definitely quality over quantity, and we've got the tools to do it.
You've got them all.
Thank you so much for joining me. Yes. I love talking with you every time, and I can't wait to bring in some more tools to our place.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.